Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a great day so far. So today I am making a video in response to all the comments that I received on my last video when I talked about Kati Morton and whether or not she was enabling Eugenia Cooney, a video when she spoke with Eugenia about her experience with being on the receiving end of receiving a 5150. A lot of people said I should watch Jaclyn Glenn's video to get a better understanding, and so that's what I did today. And I will share with you guys whether or not I still feel that Kati did not enable Eugenia in her video. I will also share with you guys my feelings about Jaclyn Glenn and her utilizing the pet team out in California to evaluate Eugenia and ultimately get the 5150 set in place. But before I even get into all of that, if you're new here, welcome. This is Journey to Find Kay, and I'm Kay. I like to talk about mental health. I usually react to the Rewired Soul, but I also talk about different topics here on this platform if I feel we can learn a little lesson about mental health and or substance abuse and recovery, because I'm a mental health patient, worker, and advocate, and I want to use my opinion and my experience to negate some of the things here on this platform. So if you enjoy my content, you enjoy watching me, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell so that way you're also notified every time I post a video. And I also have a Patreon if you want to support me outside of YouTube, which I just started out, and I have a special going on to where if you sign up onto my Patreon, you do get a personalized shout out in one of my videos. So don't be afraid to head over to patreon.com/journeytofindkay to sign up to be one of my exclusive patrons. But again, no pressure, because you watching my videos, you guys liking, you guys commenting, you guys subscribing, either way, all of that is support. No matter what means you guys decide to support me, it is appreciated. I thank you guys so much just for enjoying my content, for watching me. I just want to thank you guys for being here and watching my channel. As you guys know, I reacted to a video Kati Morton had posted on her channel with Eugenia Cooney, sharing her experience about being on the receiving end of a 5150. During that video, I shared that there was kind of an uproar on Twitter about people stating that they felt that she enabled her because she didn't call out certain situations that occurred behind the scenes. I shared that Kati wasn't enabling her. I felt that she was giving her a safe space for her to share her experiences, and many people told me that I should have watch Jaclyn Glenn's video first because it gives it a better content. Now, I didn't want to do that at that time because I felt that would give me a little bit of a bias, and after watching these videos, it would have. I can admit it to you guys. It would have given me a bias when I walked into that video, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to come in fresh eyes as a mental health worker, listening, watching another mental health professional talk to someone who is controversial, but sharing about a topic that I feel that a lot of people need to be educated on. So I decided I was going to go on here and I was going to watch Jaclyn's video and see if it would have persuaded me to feel a certain type of way about Kati and what occurred in that video. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, it would have, because everything that they did, I 100% back them on. I personally feel like, in my own opinion, that they did not do anything wrong and can relate, even just from a professional side, the feelings that they shared in their video. I watched both of them. I watched the one where Jaclyn had her and her other friends who assisted her in getting the intervention set up. I watched that one first, and then I watched her response to some of the criticism after. I personally didn't find anything wrong with how they explained the things went down. I really feel that they sat here and felt that this was a last resort option and something that they had to do to help their friend. She showed screenshots. She shared her experience of trying to get Eugenia out of the house to come see them and have conversations. Even her other friends shared their experience about trying to talk to her at different events, trying to speak with Eugenia to make sure she's okay and try to persuade her in possibly getting some type of assistance. I don't feel that they overstepped their grounds. I feel that these were genuine people who truly cared about Eugenia, who had felt that this was all that they had left to try to help her, and utilized a law in their state and had utilized a system that many people might be afraid to do. And I feel for them for getting so much criticism, because to me, looking at it as a professional as well, I can see that a lot of people really don't understand how it feels to have to go to that length. And I shared prior in the video that I did reacting to Kati Morton's video that I had to utilize a law that we have out here in Arizona to have some of my clients committed. And the feelings that Jaclyn and her friends were portraying in their video, that feeling of where you feel kind of traumatized, where especially the first time I did it, it was for one of my clients who was having some mental health concerns and their medications weren't working. They were in treatment, and it does happen even when you are in treatment. And I had to do that, and I will never forget the way this person reacted when the police came to try to get her some help. She didn't understand why. She was mad at us. She was yelling to the program director at the site.
She was upset.
And the feelings they shared, I can definitely relate to them, because even though that was my client, it's someone that I had a rapport with and I knew and saw on a day-to-day basis. So in my opinion, I feel they did what they felt was needed to get their friend help. With them having an understanding of what's going on behind the scenes, the things that we do not see online, I can also see why they're getting criticized, because this is something a lot of people do not understand. A lot of people have not been placed into these type of situations, and this is where it's important for us to sit here and educate people on the process, how it feels, what it looks like, and what it may present like from the person who's received it. I believe Kati's video was great. I think that she, as a therapist, understanding that this is a situation that Eugenia is upset with, she wanted to give her a safe space and was not going to, openly criticize her online, stating that, well, this is what happened, your friend told me this, even though she knows this information. She was not going to do that, because that looks bad. As someone who works in this field, if she would have did that, I would have been upset, because as she had started off this video stating that this was Eugenia sharing her experience. If she was turning around criticizing her and saying, well, what about this part, or trying to overtalk her and not allowing Eugenia to feel comfortable to share what she wanted to share, I would be upset.
I would be upset.
That is one of the biggest roles of a therapist, is to have that rapport to make you feel comfortable. And honestly, do we really know if Eugenia had met Kati before prior? Yes, she's in her home, and that was probably the first time she had stepped foot into the home. I do not see Kati sitting here doing things like that publicly, calling out the mom, calling out the friendships, or calling out Eugenia, stating, well, these friends did this, or trying to back up her friends, when she ultimately was just giving Eugenia a safe spot for her to share her experience and what she felt like on the receiving end of a 5150. I don't think that Jaclyn and them should have gotten so much criticism as they did for implementing and starting the process for her to get this help, because in their minds and in their situation, they felt that this was the last resort. They know more than we do. And I personally feel they had a lot of courage to go ahead and utilize something that so many people don't understand and may judge them for doing so, which we saw was the case. And I get many people want Eugenia to share her story, and I understand that people are upset because they feel that Eugenia would be able to acknowledge the intervention and state that this is something that she is excited, she was happy that they did. I feel like you guys are projecting that too quickly. I think that a lot of people might have missed in Jaclyn's video when her friend shared that she hated her family, she didn't want anything to do with them, and it took her a while for her to be able to address this situation with them and understand they did it for her own good. I honestly think that we need to calm down and not push expectations of what we expect from someone's recovery to look like. Personally, that's just my own personal opinion. Do I agree that once she's in that stage of recovery where she's able to sit down and accept that this happened and that was something that helped her get this going? Yes, I think she will get to that point. But I don't feel we need to push that judgment and expectation on her to be able to do it right now. It might take time. And I think a lot of people forgot that Jaclyn's friend stated that it took her a while for her to do that. So again, I believe that they did what they felt was right to do. And I honestly feel that there's nothing wrong with them doing that. They utilized a law that is in place specifically for these type of situations. They tried multiple times to contact her, to intervene, to talk to her on a personal level. Like Jaclyn said, she tried the soft approach. She knows a little bit more than we do. She understands the dynamics of the household that Eugenia lives in. I don't understand why they're getting so much criticism, but I kind of do, because that means there's still work that needs to be done in educating people about mental health. Now, do I still stand by my words that Kati did not enable Eugenia Cooney in that video? Yes, yes, I do. I feel that she did what she was supposed to be doing. She was giving her a safe space to share her experience and to talk about what it's like to be on the receiving end. And again, this is from Eugenia's eyes. This is from her point of view. We all understand that she is still in this struggle with her eating disorder. We get it, but we have to remind ourselves that recovery is a process and it takes time, and she might not be progressing as fast as you want her to or you expect her to, and that plays a big part in why she explained the situation that she did. I do not think Kati enabled her. I think she gave her an opportunity to share her experience for people to understand what it might look like on someone who does get it done. And I think it's important for us to understand why Eugenia might still have this outlook that it was bad, that this was something that she holds a grudge for. Because again, Jaclyn's friend said she took years. It took her time to understand her family did it for her to help her out. And she understands that's why Eugenia behaves this way. And I personally feel that a lot of people were outraged at Kati for not calling her out on a public platform, where we also have to be cognizant we don't know what kind of conversation she had offline. And if Eugenia is not open to those conversations, as someone who works in mental health, we are not going to force you to try to have these conversations. We can't, especially because Kati is not her therapist. She is not someone who's providing services for her, as far as I know. So we also have to make sure we are cognizant of our boundaries. We have to, that is something I talk about all the time, is boundaries. We have to make sure as mental health workers as well, we have to pay attention to our boundaries, and we can't overstep those boundaries. From what I know, Kati does not treat Eugenia. That might have been the first time that she met her in person. Yes, she's able to sit here and help Jaclyn in the process and advise her on what she needed to do, which Jaclyn did and did greatly, but she should not be expected to sit here and call her out on public platforms, especially as a therapist, when she's allowing her just to share her story. But we also have to remind ourselves that if she did so in private, she's not going to share it with us. And if she did not do so in privately, that is understandable, because she's not treating Eugenia. And if Eugenia is not willing to have this conversation with her, she could try. But if Eugenia is not willing to have this conversation with her and she puts up a boundary, it's important for Kati to respect that. Or else, why would she be a therapist? Why is she doing what she's doing? Because we have to toe that line very carefully. If you're my client and we have that rapport, then heck yes, I might push it a little bit more on you having these conversations. But if you're someone I'm doing a video with, I've maybe met you for the first time, I'm trying to get you comfortable with me to have these conversations, you're sharing your experience right now on camera, that could be overwhelming for her as well. I don't really know you. I'm not providing you a service.
I'm not going to do it.
I'm not going to call you out. You guys can call that enabling, but I call that good practices. I'm sorry. So do I think that this video might have given me a little bit of a bias? Yes, because I agree they should have did this. Jaclyn was right. I feel her and her friends did something that ultimately was a great stepping stone for Eugenia to get care. I feel they have valid concerns about the household and Eugenia's safety right now as well. And I feel it's a great video to help share, advocate, and break the stigma of a 5150, to share what it looks like and how it feels to be the person to try to get the process started, and as someone like Eugenia shared, to be on the receiving end of that. I think both videos are valid. I feel they both serve a great purpose in showing experience and talking about certain aspects of mental health. I don't think Kati enabled her, and I think Jaclyn did nothing wrong. I think this is just a situation where it really still falls on Eugenia. It is her treatment, and we should not expect her to move as fast as we think she should, but it all ultimately is up to her to get the help she needs. Is it going to be hard because she is in that type of environment? Yes, but I think Jaclyn and them are showing what friends would truly do if you really care. And that is my own personal opinion. And I want to hear from you guys now. I want to hear, what do you guys think? Do you guys understand where I'm coming from? Because I know a lot of you guys had already seen Jaclyn's video and you've seen Kati's video, but I want your guys' opinion. You heard mine. Don't be afraid to comment it down below so we can have these conversations and continue to think critically. If you've made it this far and you haven't subscribed, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell so that way you're notified every time I post a video. Don't be afraid to go over to patreon.com, Journey to Find Kay, to check out my Patreons to see all the perks you get for becoming one of my patrons. If not, you just watching, commenting, liking, sharing my videos, that is appreciated as well. And I thank you guys so much for being here, watching me, commenting, sharing your opinions. I love it. And I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye.